SQR podcast called Rosenberg, cracking in on a gorgeous night here in Jersey City, New Jersey. I'm here with the Honorable, and I'm using that with all due respect, the Honorable 90 Degrees. Thank you so much for sitting across from me, my youth. And we're sitting here in Jersey City in
That's right.
What's the name of the park?
Berry Lane Park in Jersey City.
And as I rock in this show, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time out and for us being here, because tonight...
Coming off the wall, sitting here and waiting all this time, taking off the wall for y'all.
Yeah.
Of course.
No, I appreciate that. But here's what's so interesting is tonight I want to take a moment to breathe and enjoy where we are. This is our first remote out of the studio show. And I'm privileged to be cracking it out with you, so big shout out for that.
All right.
Normally I don't crack the show like this, but I'm gonna take a brief moment and big up the entire crew that's on set tonight. From my boy Charles, my boy Lou, my boy Manny, my boy Anthony, everybody that's behind the scenes making us look so crisp. And of course,
It doesn't happen alone.
we can't do this without our sponsor, so I want to take a shout out to our sponsor Heineken. Boom. SQR
You should have a
podcast.
few bottles down there to switch up every time, because it's letting us know how much takes we have taken based on how short.
No, but
it lasts.
interestingly enough, SQR podcast, we drink responsibly and we speak responsibly.
That's right. That's
So,
right. Everybody's
boom.
getting in their cars and driving home right after this.
Of course, premium quality content,
Huh?
premium quality beer. So as we get ready to cracking 90, we're here in Berry Lane Park,
Yeah.
Jersey City, New Jersey. The backdrop is the mural of Harriet Tubman and the struggles and what she has done on 6 silos that you're projecting this image on. Share a little bit about our backdrop.
A little bit about this backdrop. Well, this backdrop represents love, and no matter what happens in life, that will always rise above everything. So even going back as far as 1850 and beyond that as well, you have, and before, you have people struggling in the past. Let's just face it, they were slaves, and what they went through, we can't explain it. We just can't explain it. But when I did when I did the research on this project, it took a lot out of me, because I went through so many different stories, circumstances, and it engulfed me in a way where when I do research, no matter what it is, I have fun doing it. I get into it. This one, I got into it, but it got me upset. It got me annoyed. It got me, again, it's just like a workout. You start off for the vanity, then it becomes a sanity, because it's no longer what it was. So it was quite a workout with this story, to go through it and realize everything they went through, and the outcome that I have was just to create something that could bring us to a point in life where we're at, what we have been through, what we've seen, what can we do now, because it takes all of us to do it. So I figured if you can take one look and get a snapshot of what they went through, crossing waters, going through the woods, it's just a small piece of what the story was. So you should be able to ask questions, look up the story, and know exactly what I'm talking about. And we can come back to this interview, and you can kind of understand why my expression is the way it is.
Well, we're going to dig more in detail about the entire piece. And as we get ready to do that, could you share with my guests where they could find your work and how they could get in touch with you?
You could find my work at Zone 90 Graphics, at Zone 90 Graphics, ZONE90. Graphics like it's spelled, GRAPHICS. Instagram as well, you can go there with the same handle, and you can check out some of my work. I'm going to be doing a lot more. Mainly, I wanted to really talk to you guys. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot about this story, but as we go along, I guess I'll let you guys know later on the big thing that's happening with my project, but we'll talk about it later.
Well, that's what we do here on SQR Podcast.
Yeah.
We take our guests from birth to right now. And I'm fascinated with the journey.
I'm born again.
I want to slice into that journey, the ingredients, everything that's made you who you are. So as we get ready to do this, first,
What's made me who I am?
Exactly. So first, salute, my dude. Thank you so much for taking the
One
time
second.
out.
One second. What made me who I am? Okay.
Salute.
Oh, it's
Let's
warm.
do this.
Not good. Okay,
Let's-
so yeah.
Let's do this.
Ooh, it's so cold.
Thank you so much.
BK, the home of Biggie and Jay. When niggas got Will Smith chicks, get jiggy all day. Bitches that boost in the city all day. Heckling cops, crack spots, federal watch. I'm who up here. Sip more, do up here. Yo, the feds now.
SQR podcast, Gore Rosenberg, cracking in with the one and only, the Honorable 90 Degrees. Zone graphics.
Zone 90 graphics.
Zone 90 graphics.
Don't you ever forget it.
Please, Bong.
Squirrel.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure that's tattooed across my chin before we leave here, because not only am I privileged to crack into your story, but as we rock into this, Harriet Tubman is looking at me right from the mural that is our backdrop. So
right.
Salute, Harriet. Namaste as we crack in. 90.
Yes, sir.
What sparked this let's go back to the beginning of this. What inspired, not the mural, but you, this artistic journey that you've been on? Let's go back to the beginning.
From the beginning?
Yeah, the beginning. Let me ask you, so when you were born, what was the dynamic of the family like? How many brothers and sisters? And
when I was born, my mom used to wipe my... Listen, I don't remember.
No, but when you came into the world, what was the dynamic of the family?
My memory of coming into this world was I gotta tell you, it was mostly from the Caribbean to St. Croix, moving into Puerto Rico, New York, and of course my young adulthood, where I wanted to become something amazing. I wanted to become an animator, like Disney. And then I realized how many artists it took and how much I got paid, and I changed my mind. But as time went on, I wasn't too school savvy.
Meaning with the academics.
Man, I wasn't too school savvy, period, bro. But like I said, I woke up late. And when I did, there was many other grade levels, ages amongst me. But, sometimes you realize there are a lot of smart young kids who woke up early, and sometimes when you wake up, you're learning the same things they're doing. So it's just never to be too late. But my whole life in art, where it started was in my adulthood, going to art and design, and I remember it well because I remember all the schools I was in. I was pretty much the best one. Well, I assumed I was, and even if I wasn't, I was.
Great philosophy, by the way.
Yeah, sure. I was always the best one, regardless. But when I got to art and design, the game changed. So if you can imagine a young 90, with his chest puffed up, thinking that he was the it, and then he walked into school and you see all the historical students who were there prior to you with their work on the wall. As you walk in the hallway and looking at all this greatness, you realize it's a hallway of shame. And I no longer looked up and felt like I was the best anymore. It was a checking point. And That's when I think I was prepared. When I was catapulted into hip-hop, I was prepared for it, not realizing it. I was just ambitious enough to realize that I'm going to get out and show everybody that I'm not as stupid as they think I am, and I'm going to show them everything that I've done is better than they ever thought that I can be.
What were some, if you could remember, because you said you could remember distinctively that time, can you think of two of the pictures that were on that wall?
Man, I just remembered watching images that spoke back to me. I don't care what it was. It just told me that I need to step my game up. You know what I'm saying?
So let's go granular. When you say you were looking at images and they were saying, explain that a little bit more. What images were you looking at, and why do you think?
I can't quite remember it, but I'm telling you, whatever those images were, they were so properly scaled and lighted right. I just fell in love with three-dimensional realism. And from that point on, I knew I had to check everything I thought I knew. And in this school was the right place for me to be. but I didn't last long there. I only stayed there 1 year, and we had to leave. We transferred from New York to Atlanta, Georgia. So I went to a regular school with regular art, and I wasn't really into it. So I declined. You know.
Did you not kind of shine in that art scene in Atlanta now because you were like?
Yeah, I mean, I made myself shine, but you only shine as far as your support system allows you to. So imagine back then, we talk about 1988. 1988. I'm in what the 11th, 12th grade or something like that in Atlanta, and I'm doing pants with like Bart Simpson on it. Remember when Bart Simpson was on the Tracy Ullman show?
Yeah.
And the father was choking the crap out of him. Well, I used to do Bart Simpson black with Gucci or something. I mean, what was back then? It was Gucci. And it was the same. And you have to understand something. I was so ahead of myself that when I came to New York, I was watching like Shirt Kings do stuff on UMTV Raps when I was in school. You know what I'm saying? So I came up to New York and I started doing stuff on clothes. Of course, I stumbled upon many other airbrush spots with people. I was in Harlem with Kevin Childs, working with Kevin Childs, where I met Ron Browse as a young kid.
Oh, wow.
Where I did all the outfits for Uptown Kids. Was Ron Browse he was 12 years old at the time. And then I remember that's when, of course, when I met Tupac, when Tupac walked up at me when I did his jacket. This jacket I did I took it home to do, and it was in a friend's house. And I gotta tell you guys, man, I know I don't want to switch the topic real quick, but a friend of mine passed away.
Please.
A friend of mine passed away. His name is Richard Springer.
Richard Springer.
Yeah.
Physics.
Ricky, Physic. Yeah, PHYZEC. This guy, they found him. There's a story. I'm not gonna get too much into it, but he was found deceased, unrecognizable. This is a guy that I lived with. This is a guy that helped me through a lot. This is a guy that gave me the tools to work. This is a guy that was so hard on me that he was such an asshole that I loved him so much afterwards. You see, a lot of times people will tell you things and you get upset, but a lot of times they're really trying to get through to you because of what they went through on their set. And they try to set you back to where you need to be, but sometimes they don't know how to do it. It's okay.
So they do it the dysfunctional way they know how to do it.
Yeah, and it's fine. It's fine because what he did for me, he allowed me to grow within the supplies that he had and the discipline that he had in his path. He hung out with Keith Haring, with Basquiat and them, Andy Warhol, Hype Williams. He used to be his roommate, Hype Williams, the video director.
Yeah, you know exactly who Hype Williams is.
I did stuff for Hype with Fubu and Fatty Girl. I did the backs of the girls with the Fatty Girl video.
So this impact that physics,
yeah, full circle, right? I took the Tupac jacket to the house, and he would critique it and say, "Yo, you should do this." God darn it. But yeah, that's where I did the Tupac jacket. I brought the Tupac jacket back that day. That's another story we'll talk about another time.
Well, we're actually gonna splice that in because we did speak about that. So we're gonna share that Tupac story with you guys.
Yeah. That's it. That's another entry.
However, can we do this as you shared so intimately about
But let's don't forget about Harrit and Tubman while we're here.
No, not. But because you mentioned Physic, can we toast to him real quick and his contribution to your life?
Yeah.
Salute, my dude. Rest in peace. Very well done. Very well done. So as you navigated
Physic.
As you navigated, your art world, and you transitioned out of knowing that academics is not your thing. You're in Atlanta. You're trying to fit in. Which was the first major artwork that you did?
First major artwork?
Yeah, that people started recognizing, like, wow.
No, people started recognizing my portrait. Actually, in Harlem, they used to take pictures of with backdrops. People have like a wine glass, Tony the Tiger with rings on a Mercedes Benz.
Yeah.
Shirt Kings, and we all did different backdrops. I did a backdrop of Onyx. Shout out to my man Onyx. Those are my boys. I did the logo for them, like on the album cover. You know, I did. See, that's why I don't drink, man. See, I already started. I'm burping already. You know, so I did like the album cover for them. But honest, I did a backdrop of them. And Fizz, I remember him coming in and seeing this backdrop of all four of their faces. It was Sticky with his Timberlands. The album cover, I redid it. You know, I did Fredro, Suave, Sun C. Keeps changing his name up. Of course, you know, Fredro,
right.
Fredro Star, and then you have Big DS. And I did that backdrop, and they saw it, and they were like, "Yo, this dude could really paint. He could really paint."
That was the reaction.
And the way he did the nose, and the way he does it, he can really paint. I was the youngest one, you know, freaking it, you know. But then, of course, you know, Kiko came along. It was like a Menudo group. You know, you get older, you just got to leave. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, let me leave this man. Let me do his thing. You know, the young ones coming, they do their thing. You know, Kiko, shout out to my man Kiko. He knows what he's doing too. He's dope.
So you get recognized from them, validates your artwork.
Yeah.
And now you start doing more because I know you're really talented when it comes to the rap hip hop murals that you've created.
Yep.
Can we dig into one of the most famous ones that we have known you for?
Rap murals? Big L.
The Big L.
140th and Lenox.
Tell me about that story.
Yeah. I did that wall back in 1999.
What inspired that, by the way? You could have done anybody else. I mean, I know Big L.
No,
is.
Ruckus Records called me to do that wall. Ruckus Records, you know, Eminem was on Ruckus Records. Many more, you know.
And they called you and solicited you for that wall.
Yeah, and they actually recorded that wall on time lapse.
So
anybody who got that video in time lapse from Ruckus Records, please hit me up. Slide into my DMs. You know, let me know.
So let me ask you this, 90. So you're transitioning through these major opportunities. How does being awake? When did the awareness of not only your talent but your function in life? When did that happen?
It happened when I left home. And I gotta say, you know, shout out to my pops for trying to hold on. But you know, it was a lot of us. And boy, I must have been stubborn as hell. But anyway, I had to leave home, and I left. I didn't even graduate high school. I just left. And I just came to New York, and I just was destined to prove to people that I can do it. I can do it. So I look back. I always thought about, like, man, I was so ambitious and energetic, and I'll be up for 2-3 days. I'll be up for 2-3 days. I won't even sleep. Today give me 6 hours and it's a wrap. You know what I mean? But because I was trying to prove to people, I thought, and I sat and thought about it. I never went to a therapist, but somehow and one of my downsides when my dog died, I started thinking about all the things in my life, and I was just like, oh my gosh, that was the reason why I was so motivated to do things. I wanted to prove to my family that I could do it.
SQR podcast, Corey Rosenberg. Thank you for being so vulnerable.
You.
We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back.
Yes, sir.
And I want to crack into the lead up to this gorgeous mural. Harriet Tubman, right over her shoulders.
Yep.
Here in Jersey City. It is an amazing piece of work, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Stay tuned. 90 degrees.
Chicken and cornbread, nappy roots.
Score Rosenberg.
90.
1.
Move this out, ooh, ass this out, ooh, hit it. Move this out, ooh, ass this out, ooh, hit it.
SQR podcast, Score Rosenberg.
Nice.
Sitting here across from, not only the honorable, but I coined this other adjective, the illustrious 90 degrees. And when we were talking behind the scenes, you gave your full marquee. Could you do that again, please?
Oh, Floyd Simmons, aka 90 Degrees, on any graphics.
Bong. Check him out, see his work. But tonight we are here in Jersey City.
The focus in the right angle in life.
Berry
Lane Park, Jersey
Berry
City.
Lane Park, Jersey City.
That's right.
We are positioned perfectly in front of this gorgeous mural.
Don't you ever forget it.
6 silos, Harriet Tubman, and those prominent arms of love that were.
Palms of love. That came out so terrible. But anyway, it's just heart. Just, the symbol of love. It's
Sheer,
powerful, more powerful than anything in the world.
Share the inspiration behind using those arms. And by the way,
Hands.
whose hands are those?
Those are my hands.
Those are your hands.
Those are my hands. That's right.
Share a little bit about the inspiration behind that, please.
Behind my hand.
Using your hand to make that.
Well, like I said, symbols are stronger than words, you know? So if every time someone came in the park and just kept on doing that, even in certain times, they'll, you know, you put your hand up and you can match up and just, you know, hashtag love. Period. It just overpowers everything. Anything you go through in life. And there's many things that we go through. And a lot of things I can't explain. A lot of things I won't understand. But we all go through different things at different times. Some of us wake up early. Some of us wake up late. But we all wake up. Mm-hmm. The question is when. And when you do, it's most likely you had love first. You don't wake up without it.
That's powerful. SQR podcast, Corey Rosenberg. Whenever you say something profound on this show, we call it dropping a jewel. And that was so eloquently said, my dude.
Thank
so
you.
are you telling me basically you're channeling that energy
that's Heineken,
nonstop all the time by keeping the arms in that formation of a heart?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I realized that on that middle silo, you could have painted anything there. But you wanted to go with that.
I wanted to go with that because of what the story means with Harriet Tubman. Everything behind her stride could have been hate.
Or should have been hate.
It should have been hate. It probably was hate. A lot of things we do starts in hate, but it turns out where we perfect ourselves into something that we didn't realize that we couldn't do. You know what I'm saying? Some of us don't exercise the mind to become stronger. And I always tell people the muscle in the mind is the same muscle, the same energy, same workout. But they both get exhausted. But when you get stronger, you feel great about it, and you no longer show the pain anymore because now you know how to address it. Now you know how to face it because you've been there before. And what you picked up before was so heavy that the things you could pick up now, it's so light, and mentally it doesn't bother you anymore. You know.
I feel you on that.
It's just something that you developed, and if you don't close the pan, open the third, you're stuck. You're stuck for a while.
Jewels all day, my dude. Can I do this? Can we go in, and we're right here now in Berry Lane Park. And we're sitting here in front of this mural. Can I go back to when you were initially commissioned? I want to go back to that to do this piece. Yeah.
Yes, when I was commissioned for this job.
Or how did you get this job?
This job came through June Ambrose. Weissme recognized my work first and let them know what I was capable of. June Jones brought me together with Brooke Hansen. That's the Jersey City Mural Association that's here. And working with Brooke was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to work with someone who helped this whole thing get to where it needed to be. Without her, I look at her like the funnel that takes in so much crap that I don't realize at times. But she deals with a lot, and she does what she can in the time that she can, you know. And I'm so thankful for her, because without that alone, I won't be able to do this.
Let's
job.
toast to her.
To Brooke, yeah.
Let's toast to Brooke.
Yes.
Salute. So, however, I wanted to enjoy the journey up to not only you being commissioned for this job, but why Harriet Tubman?
This is the last stop in Jersey City that she stopped
from the Underground Railroad.
Yeah. From North Carolina to here. On foot. And carriage, or whatever form of struggle, but imagine that.
When your
so
life is
when
on
I'm
the
up
line.
there painting, and people tell me, yo, bro, that's big. That's a lot of work. In comparison to what? I'm doing Harriet Tubman. I'm hitting 10%. I'm hitting some 0 point something of whatever she did.
Very
So
well said.
So let me truck it, back pains, whatever, shoulder flip, whatever, you know, silly, but
It's
I'm out
nothing
here
compared
doing
to
it.
what she.
Nothing compared to what she did. So
90.
I'm thankful
You
to do it.
You meet with Brooke. You're commissioned to do this piece.
I meet with June Jones.
Sorry, you meet with June Jones. You're commissioned to do this piece, and you start. Did you have this in mind, or was this a zing, or?
No, this design was worked on about 2.5 years ago, bro.
So you had this.
I had it already prepared. It was supposed to be shown, and again to Brooke. When I first met her, I didn't know. Apparently, I was called to a meeting, and I came down. She was there. I came in. I was all late in the meeting. Not intentionally. I was just told late. But I came, and I thought I could help the situation because they were trying to look for excuse me, the compressor's going off back there. I pay with this compressor. But anyway, I came over here and I met June Jones and I'm sorry, Brooke. And I was just too forceful. I was like, yes, I can handle. I think I can do. I can do exactly what you guys need. And she was so annoyed with the meeting anyway. So me coming on board, just made it worse. So for me to meet Brooke about 2 years later, I'm happy to know that, Brooke, I'm sorry about then, and of course we're working great now. So again, at the beginning of a job, it doesn't really seem like you're supposed to enjoy each other, but if you can work together, towards the ending, you start to enjoy each other.
Salute.
So
here's what's so powerful. This work was already done 2 years ago.
Yeah, not fully. It was chop, some parts are missing, but yeah.
So you hear this opportunity comes to work in Jersey City, work in Berry Lane.
Yep.
You pick this piece. Was there any objection from anybody with this particular piece?
None.
Profound.
Everybody loved it. Like I was like, what? I could have done less, but no, but none. Like the piece was inspired by a lot of little pieces that was brought together, but it was mainly the trying to give the message, give the message so people can understand it. Come out to the park with their kids. They look up, put their hands up. Hey, mommy, what's that? Well, hey, such and such and such and such and such. Mommy, daddy, whomever. And you can actually inspire folks through iconical images like this. And if you could think out what the future brings, you go there. And if you could see and understand the feeling, you come back and you make it happen for now, because you know what it's supposed to do. That's like anything else, like a business. You got to think it out. You got to think about the failures. You got to think about what you got to back it up in case it fails, so you can stay afloat. All this other stuff. But so you think in stages, and I had to really think about this, and to have these people behind me, I couldn't, represent myself wrong. This is Jersey City, and I've been here before. We did stuff back in the day. I was out here with Shout Out to Cheese and the basement with Sweet's Barbershop on Columbus Avenue, but we were there in the basement. I was the one in the back. I was that young kid back there with Cheese and then painting. Shout Out to Cheese again. You know what I'm saying? I ain't forget. I helped you those portraits. Never got paid for it, but I was happy to help because you helped me out too. I had a place to paint.
You know what's so funny? As I hear your story and the way you bounce around with the people who have been so instrumental in your life, is it seems as if you not only treasure that contribution, but you've amplified that contribution.
No, I'm just mainly saying from back in the day, from when we were doing this back in 1990, 96, 97, to 2000 when I left there. But I'm saying, that's when Jersey evolved with a lot of paintings, with a lot of mural stuff. I was never able to come back and show, people did a few things, Shout Out to Cheese again, did that wall downtown Jersey City. So it's like, it takes a village. That's Cheese's on Columbus. But I wanted to come and show what I could do here. Other spots called me up. Younkers called me to do the DMX. All these other spots called me to do stuff. The Big L and Foxy Brown did stuff for her. Nas, shout out to Nas. Busta Rhymes doing stuff for him. So I was thankful, but I left. And I never came back and did anything for Jersey City. So when I came back, it was already established. I couldn't try to get on if I wanted to, So I was like, you know what? I would try to work with some people, shout out to Distort too. They're doing their thing, and I'm just like, man, I gotta do something, you know what I'm saying?
You did it.
And of course, and now I gotta,
You did it.
I tried, but
You know what? Let me.
To the point where let's see where it goes from here.
I have to correct you as we take this break. The universe doesn't understand trying, my dude.
No,
you're either doing it or you're not. And I gotta say this to
like
you.
Like I said, I kept on walking.
Bong.
Okay, I kept on walking. And I didn't stop, but I kept on walking.
And this beautiful mural right here is evident of somebody who never stopped working. So I salute you. We're gonna take a quick break. Come back.
Shoot.
We're gonna.
My arm's about to die.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap in.
I'm a bug on the page.
When we get back, right now. When I get back with you, I want to tell you. I want you to go through.
How the hell can you see it?
I want you to go through your day on this wall.
No, you don't.
I want you to take me through a day on this wall. SQR podcast,
All
90
right.
degrees, Zone 90 graphics on Instagram. Check him out. One.
Bang bang.
Oh, the king's back, yeah. Bounce. Oh, yeah. They know they gonna find out. Yeah, about to find out.
SQR podcast, Cole Rosenberg, cracking in with my boy, 90 degrees. You know, you shared the inspiration behind the Harrit Tubman piece. You also shared using your hand to create that formation of love and the inspiration for people to come here, not only admire the work, but be inspired by the work. Take me through a day painting this thing.
A day painting this thing.
What time do you get here?
You get here in the morning.
What time?
Sometimes 8, sometimes 9. Take everything out the tent, out of the truck, open up the tent, and just set up. You set up and you just get everything ready because you know you have to go in for a little shelter when it gets a little too hot outside. So you come out here and you just get yourself set up, and you just face it, just walk it through.
How do you? Okay, this is a.
How do you prepare for it? There's no preparing, man. You just have to get on that damn wall. I don't even like heights, bro. You know?
Yeah, that makes no sense,
No, it
my
don't.
dude. This is like 30 feet.
Yeah, Harrit Tubman didn't like trotting back and forth either.
Bomb.
But she did it.
What a jewel.
You know what I'm saying? That ain't no jewel. I've been doing this on the wall before Harrit Tubman was talking about this stuff.
No, that's a major jewel. No, that's a major jewel.
But
You're
seriously,
right. It puts it in perspective.
Yeah, I mean, clearly I wasn't painting before Harrit Tubman, but I'm just saying,
Right.
you know, before the thought came
Okay, so let's go back through the day. So here's a layman question. How do you project what you have mentally onto this big space and get it to scale? Or is that something
Are you
that...
kidding me? This is not... No, that answer doesn't even apply to this wall. These are cylinders. These aren't flat walls. Look at these things, they're bending. You know what those hands look like from the perspective of being 60 feet up in the air? They don't look like hands, they look like a bunch of pointy stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's bending in order to match. This ain't no simple flat wall. You know, so yeah, there's many days I come out like, man, it's off. You know what I'm saying? So
let's go back to the routine of the day.
don't try to put a laser either. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. You need to understand how to lay that down so it can be in perspective, being wrapped the way it is.
So let's go back through the day routine.
Damn freaking
drink.
Don't,
you sit back?
I swear to God, don't give me this thing to drink no more, bro.
I like that.
You
so
got
listen,
me burping and
yeah,
stuff.
so
Like,
you sit back, you look at the artwork, and you start going in.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're connected somehow telepathically, energetically with the movement that's going on to just be oblivious to the noise around you?
Let me tell you something. I've been feeling this feeling for a long time, and it's not even based on you know, Harriet Tubman, but period. You feel this feeling when you're not accepted normally with everybody else, and you face that, and you recognize that, and somewhere in life, you either complain about it or do something about it.
Powerful.
So if I'm gonna do something about it, I'm gonna give what I can. Like for example, if it's like a charity event, right? And people are like, yo, we have this money to give or whatever. That's why I don't go to church. I ain't got that much money to give. So it's like I will give, you know, to give money. That means you want to do something about it, right? If I don't have money, I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna say nothing. You know what I mean? And my thing is not just about the money, but if you can give something
This is what you
to
can
help
give.
fix something. Do something about it.
Powerful.
I can't do a lot of things people want me to do, but what I know I can do
You do.
is this. And I swear to God, my work speaks a lot more than I can. It's only
It is.
It's only recently I've been starting to talk. Like when I was younger, I wasn't talking for a long time, and I felt like every time I did something, I got praise for it. When I drew something, and that's where my spark came from. So I wasn't born with a talent; it was birthed into me. You feel what I'm saying?
Powerful.
People aren't born with talents. People are born as a dry sponge, and sometimes they will either you can wet that with the right knowledge, or you can point that person or child into a direction where they'll do something terrible. They might vandal something. They might I don't know, get mad at and destroy the whole environment. But at the same time, these kids lie, but these kids want to do something.
Yeah.
That line can turn into a storyteller, a writer, an
artist.
An artist. So you have to channel it into the right energy. And if you have something that you can do that you can actually enjoy, all the stuff that could be addictive you won't have an addiction. You will have an addiction towards what you like, what you get praised for.
Another jewel. You know what's so funny? I love when I have a conversation with you because you tend to take me down the scenic route with so many colorful points.
All I got is metaphors, man. That's all I got.
But it is beautiful, my dude. But let's go back to this. Back on the wall, you're painting. It's beaming sun, and you're doing your work. We're back. I want to finish the route through your day.
That's right. My neck is all.
Yeah.
That's my normal complexion. I'm turning into a Nigerian on my neck. That's right. All Nigerian on my neck.
That's what painting in New Jersey. Be glad you're not in Arizona or in Texas where it's 102 or 112.
Manny, let me see your complexion real quick.
So,
I'm Manny's complexion.
Be glad. Yeah, be glad.
Normally.
As we crack into this, so how do you stay persistent, focused on your daily routine? When do you say, you know what, I had enough? I'm trying to find out what keeps you to the
There's
journey.
no such thing as that. I could never think about that because back then when I was painting to pay the bills. And I didn't know, if there was no bills, I won't be painting, guys. But the fact that there was bills, I was like, I gotta go do something, and I had a talent, so I had to figure it out.
Thank you for
That's
saying
why
that.
when I met Onyx, when I met Fredro, he was in a barbershop in Garabrew when I was living with Physic. And I went to all the barbershops to do these design. I wanted to do their jackets, so I had to pay bills. So I figured I'll do one jacket, which is the barber jacket, and then I'll take it in and I'll show all the barbershops, and I'll get orders that way. So I met Sticky and I met Fredro, and Sticky was cutting hair. And when I went back to bring the jackets back, Sticky told me Fredro is not there. He's at a movie set cutting hair. Come to find out that Fredro was on Strap. He was actually acting on the set of Strap.
All this goes back to you knowing that having a bill.
Had to go, and that's how you made your money. So coming back to what you're saying full circle, this is how I kept on being persistent. I knew I had to work. I had to pay bills. People say, man, you did a lot of work. No, I had to pay bills. I still owed money.
And then
you know what I'm saying?
Transferred to your
And so when you tell me about the wall, how did I focus on this wall and how did I get to it? Ain't no such thing. I'm already set to jump on there and do what I got to do. And I know once you start, you got to finish. So every time I jump on something, so, and excuse me to a few people, Bing Bong, Nems, Gorilla Nems. I'm doing his painting in my house. It's been a minute. Sorry, I haven't got it out yet.
As you can see why.
I'm caught up, Onyx as well. That's something for them as well.
As you can see why.
But once I'm done, we'll be back rolling and rolling.
I salute the stick-to-itiveness that you bring to the game.
Start and finish.
And I know that, because I've seen you work before and we've sat down and talked before, you are militant to accomplishing a task. And there's a young painter out there who's going to see this, be impressed by this work, and go, how is he doing that? And it boils down to a stick-to-itiveness that you really got to dig into. So 90, as we get ready to wrap on this, we spoke about your journey from a little kid coming up. We touched on your influence in hip-hop music and some of the work you've done. There's a story of Tupac that we're gonna share with our audience, because we had a little
Yeah.
powwow that we called in our studio. We're gonna chop that in so they can cash that out.
Yeah.
But with Big L,
I was about 12 pounds heavier in that last shot.
with Big L, and with the DMX mural that you did in
I'm
Younkers.
cracked out on the wall right now.
Yeah, with the DMX mural that you did in Younkers,
Yeah.
right after his passing.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself going in the next, next stage of your life?
Well, I remember when we saw Boyz II Men, we knew they wasn't going to last to Boyz II Men when they got older, right? I'm not going to be on this wall painting this for much longer. You're not going to catch me painting no walls. I'm not here to paint walls, I'm here to set a standard to what I do and get my work out there so people can understand the value of who I am and what I got in my house as more jewels is what you've been talking about, which I have paintings from the past, from like Rap City, just from TRL. Like I have all these paintings,
classics.
the Big Pun, the Muhammad Ali stuff, the Fat Albert stuff when I worked at Fubu. So I have a lot of stuff to bring. I'm trying to start my gallery, but everybody always asks me like, hey, are you gonna sell your paintings? I was like, no, not selling anything. A few people have offered me, but I'm not selling anything. And when I do, the value will be there. The value will be there. And everybody will have a piece of everything.
You know what, my dude? I appreciate the value you're putting into yourself, because that is what I'm feeling in your work.
Oh, I was born with that value.
No, but I'm
Not the
feeling this in
talent,
this work.
But I was born with the value.
Can we do something before we break? Can we dissect this piece? Because I realize, as I look at this thing, not only are the arms perfect, but I realize there's the fence that you continued through this silo where Harrit Tubman is on.
Yeah.
And it seems as if that silo is almost sliced in two.
Yeah, it's not correct. It's not too correct on the. I'm gonna have to change it. So most people don't know that. They don't need to know it, but I'll say it anyway. On the left-hand side, it needs to be changed a little bit, but I'm on it. But it just represents the looking through to the other side, and I wanted to bring a little illusion to it.
And what's the significance of the chain running through that column?
Well, no matter if we bolt it down and you try to hold us down, whether it's slavery or not, you can overcome it with love.
Powerful.
Because you can use hate and it could be a whole other direction.
Yes. As you said before, all of our experiences could have been translated to hate, but it wasn't.
That's right. That's right.
And I like the fact that you on the second silo to our left, that backdrop of a woody area, which kind of reflected her journey.
If you look closely, that white spot at in the center of the two silos from the fourth one.
Yes, correct.
I mean, the two in the middle. That's actually Harriet Tubman leading the slaves to freedom.
Wow.
So she has a rifle, and there's a baby being held. There's people who are wounded, who are being carried through this whole thing.
Wow.
It's deep, man.
Yeah,
it's
it
deep,
is.
bro.
It
it's
is.
deep. And my thing is, not many people understand what they went through in this journey. I mean, you think about your exhaustion. Just take yourself through any exhaustion. Treadmill, running on just anything. Sick and tired of your boyfriend or something. You're getting exhaustion, Like, these people are doing this the whole way.
For their life.
You have a baby crying. She had to sedate the babies with medicine that would grow, rub and make them pass out, so they didn't cry. You feel what I'm saying? Wet her face while it's cold out in the cold of the night. Wet their face so they could feel warmer. You understand what that means? That's like putting an ice pack on your anywhere.
Yeah.
After a while, it just don't feel cold no more. You understand that understanding?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't see your way because the North Star was covered up because it's cloudy now. You gotta
There's no GPS.
You gotta use the moss on the trees and what side is that's on. Like this journey, and it's 700 slaves, not one got killed. Man, come on, man.
Yeah.
I see presidents talk
Yeah.
about stuff and don't achieve it.
Yeah.
And you have this woman doing what she did, and this is, come on, man.
No, that was-
$50,000 reward. I mean, $40,000 reward. what's that today. Back in the day. Come on,
Yeah.
you had people stopping their jobs. They said bring her in dead or alive.
They went
How many
hunting.
women came in looking like her, smashed face the fuck up?
Yeah.
So, excuse me, where you can't see the face, and then they're like, okay, this is Harriet Tubman right here.
Yeah, yeah.
Bring her in dead or alive. Like, you have people changing their jobs. What were you making a week?
Yeah.
To find Harriet Tubman? You a whole crew. You have a whole army going after this woman because I go, who's gonna get her first?
Get that reward.
Come on, man, that reward money. That means only $5 you could take it to one who was with you.
You know what's so funny?
Come on, man.
As you share that,
40?
you know, the intensity of that, and we realize that we're standing on not only her shoulders, but on the path that she blazed. And I want to take this moment as we get ready to close on this segment. I want to thank you so much for continuing that passion, because you said it best in earlier. You said you want a parent, kids to walk through here. Mom, what's that? That's Harriet Tubman. Find out what she did. Find out her impact.
Just realize why we got this far, period.
So the lights in the park went off. It's now lit beautifully from our studio lights. Harriet is smiling at us. She's saying thank you, 90.
And sure, I'm telling her thank you.
We get ready to close. Let the guests know, number one, where they can find you. Number two, where we are and what you want them to do when they come to this park and see this image. Go.
You can find me at Zone 90 Graphics. This mural is located right here in Jersey City at Berry Lane Park. And when you come here, you're gonna realize you're here for a reason. We are all here for a reason. We feel free for a reason. We argue for a reason. And to feel that, to have that freedom to do that, is the backs that these people walked on to give us the freedom to say the things that we want to say today. So be happy. Reach out and tell someone that you love them, even if you hate them. And let the world know that we're here to be all as one. It only takes love.
Yeah, let's do that, my dude.
Right?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that right there.
I think I did something
Let's
crazy.
do that right there. SQR Podcast, Score Rosenberg, 90 degrees. We're here in Berry Lane Park, catching the energy.
That's right.
Yeah, let's do that again, 90. Berry Lane Park. Harriet Tubman, salute. Yeah, as we close out, thank you guys so much. 90, you're the best, bro.
Yep.
Bong, bong, bong.